Great name. The Boosh. Oh, wow. Automatically picked the Arrival. That's great. And then lastly... Let's change this to the world map so we get a little better view and close that off. Get back to our airport overview. Cool. Good stuff. What is that in my stream? Oops. to see 2 of those, so let's get rid of that guy. And I forgot to update my route. That's no bueno. Let's, give me just a second here. This is Delta Airlines flight. Flight is this? $25.82. Okay. Offline. We're going up to 32,000 feet today. Let's get this guy over here where we can use it. Mm-hmm. $32,000 feet. We'll say 430 on the max speed. And we're in an A320neo. Perfect. Okay. That should be up to date now. Beautiful. Move this. There we go. That's a better view for the chat, I think. Hopefully the audio is coming through now. Last video I did was pretty awful. So anyway, let's get started here, shall we? Go ahead and kick on our fly pad. Go up top. Get battery 1 and 2. External power can come on. Set the ADIRS to nav. Crew oxygen supply. I think it looks a little fuzzy. Give me just a second here. Yep, that's a little bit better. Arm the emergency exit signs, turn on the no smoking light, and nav and logo lights, and strobes to auto. Great. Kick this back down just a second. Yep. Get our brightness turned up on the ND and PFD. Alignment's in 6 minutes. That's good. And it's showing me fuel in pounds. That's even better. Awesome sauce. Anything else I'm forgetting at the moment? I don't believe so. So let's come down here to the FMC and get it programmed. Yep. That'll be there. AOC. Init press. Quest data. And back here. And plug it in. We're going from Atlanta today to St. Louis at 32,000 feet. We'll use the GPS's current position to set the alignment of the ADIRs so that we know where we're flying. And we will head back to our make do menu. Hold on, I'm going to get, forgot about, what's it called? Pack X for our passenger experience today. Woohoo! Let's go ahead and get the flight started. Actually, we're going to wait on that for just a second. Oh, I didn't mean to stop it, though. Yeah, the jetways are borked. So I can't get a jetway connected, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll make do without it. Brightness up on this guy. And brightness here. Integrated brightness there. And overhead panel brightness to maximum. Hey Charles, how's it going? You're gonna meet me in St. Louis? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Now I can go to my Atsu menu. Oh, we don't serve peanuts on this flight. This is Delta. It's only, I guess, peaches? For Georgia? I don't know. Let's do a weather request for all of our destinations so that we can print that out and set up the FMC. We'll wait just a minute and that message will pop in there. In the meantime, we can head back over to page 2 of the init page and get our... Oh, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Need to load in the weights and balances. We'll load the fuel up through the fly pad on my left, but we can go ahead and load all the payload and baggage for 168 customers. Passengers. Load that onto the plane, and our gross weight has increased appropriately. So if I look at the amount of block fuel that we're taking today, it's going to be 16,390 pounds. And I think I'm going to have to do conversions here, which scares me just a little bit. Here it is, fuel. Yep. Hello, Google. Charles, if you're still watching, can you Google how many pounds, how many kilograms is 16,390? It's actually a race. Whoever can do it first. 16,390 pounds to kilograms. I've got the answer, Charles. I beat you. It is 7,400, and we'll go with 35. Actually, we'll just go with 7,500 kilograms today, which will take about 9 minutes to refuel the plane while we finish setting things up. Okay. we should see. Oh, I think he went the wrong way. Nope, nope, nope. Pounds of fuel to kilograms. 16,390 to kilograms. Yeah, pounds to kilograms. If we were, I think 60,000. I think this thing could hold that much, but yeah, that would be something. Let's go ahead and set up our reporting TCAS. We'll set it to auto. And let's get back to this guy. Oh, we should have our company message for the weather. So, received messages and some METAR data. And let's print it out. Grab this guy. Pop it in right there. How cool is that? Okay. Now we can get our zero fuel weight and zero fuel center of gravity. We already determined that we were going to have 16.4 thousand pounds of fuel on board. That's it. That's very precise measurements, Charles. I don't know that it works that way. We rounded up. We're taking 7,500. You are very specifically correct, sir. Is my audio coming through okay, by the way? Can you hear me good? The last one of these I did, it looked like a mime show. It was not very entertaining. 16.4, whoops. GPS primary out. We don't need that. Perfect. Thanks, buddy. Let this populate all of that good stuff right there. And we can head over to our flight plan. Okay. We are departing from... I think I am done with this dude for now because I've got the weather. Let's go up to our, oops, like that. Navgraph charts and look at our departure, the Bush 3 departure. What a great name that is. Wait a minute. Make sure. Nope, that's the arrival. I did not pin my departure. Shame on me. I will definitely need this guy. Okay. On the from runway, wish I had a better short-term memory. Runway 27. Oh, get out of here, bud. Right on the NASA 2 departure at the VOOS transition. Go ahead and insert that. And I'll go ahead and preload the arrival. We're doing is it 30 left Zulu at St. Louis. Yep. ILS for that. Okay, we'll go with the RNF. Why not? Why not, indeed? Right there on the Boosh 3 arrival. Yep. Shatner mode? What would Shatner mode be? Just more like, you want to hear me talk like Shatner? We're arriving into St. Louis on the Boosh 3 arrival. We don't yet know what our transition is. Let's see, what are our options? Need to make this a little bit smaller. Visca? Is that an option? TB? Nope, maybe that's the end point. TB. And this is probably where I'm going to pick the beginning of it. Yep, look at that. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. And that should be our flight plan fully installed. There's something on the wing. Some thing. Classic episode. I like the one from the Twilight Zone movie, too, with John Lithgow. That was sufficiently insane. Okay, we're still refueling, which is good. It gives me an opportunity to go ahead and get this started. Pull it in from SimBrief, Atlanta to St. Louis, Delta 2582, 32,000 feet. We'll call it an hour and 20 flight time, taking off in about 20 minutes with 168 passengers. I think I have Delta boarding music, which is sufficiently annoying. If you don't mind Rhapsody in Blue on infinite repeat. And a Delta safety briefing. No Wi-Fi, no entertainment, no meals. This is a budget Delta line, I guess. So, I'll go ahead and get that fired up. Now we need to do our performance. This will be a flaps 1 takeoff. 18,000 feet transition. From our departure. Yep, transition altitude. Top altitude on the departure is 10,000 feet, so let's... I did not pick the correct boarding music. I don't know what this is. 10,000 feet. We'll call it 230 knots. Actually, we'll just put it in managed mode. That'll come around pretty soon. Let's get the altimeter dialed in. Local altimeter at Atlanta right now is 29902. That's very convenient to be at sea level pressure. So we'll go with that. Looks like we're done with our refuel as well. We'll put a flex temp of 60 degrees Celsius, which gives us V speeds of V1 133, rotate at 134, and fly out at 138. It is insane. This mod that I'm using is made by a group called Fly-By-Wire. And the base level plane that Microsoft put, this is an Airbus A320neo. Obviously, Microsoft spent a lot more time on the graphics here. It is a ridiculous level of detail and simulation. I'm probably going to run the time back a little bit so it's not a night flight, but yeah, this is a fairly dramatic representation of the Atlanta airport. And yep, J.J. Abrams is squealing like a little girl somewhere. Okay, this guy is done. Let's load up our flight from SimBrief so that we have some information on the pad. Look, I even got a cup of coffee. We'll get rid of that guy though. Don't need any coffee. Also turn these guys off to save on some frames because I don't have a first officer. Set our constraint mode on. And let's check out the plan. Oh. Heading out of Atlanta off to the west. And this little discontinuity is a problem. Get rid of that so it can hook up correctly. Turn to the north. We're doing that to avoid some weather that's off to the west of Atlanta right now. Then, straight shot up onto the arrival at Boosh and into land. Another discontinuity. Let's get rid of that guy. Don't need that. Don't need this.
When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Please double check that all your items are put away so that the aisle is clear and other passengers can make their way to their seats. If you're in an emergency exit row, please leave the exit seating responsibilities in the car in the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated. Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages if you need to, but we ask that once you depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or tablets. Thank you and welcome aboard.
No, Charles. Sort of being a stream, it's kind of it's just kind of like a one-person show. I guess people could be maybe added to a stream. I'm not 100% sure. But as it is, it's just sort of kind of type and hope that I see it. And there's a little bit of a lag, I'm sure you've noticed. Okay, I think we're about ready to go. We're just waiting for our people to board. And this little add-on here called PackX is pretty cool. It basically simulates the whole experience. It adds the stewardess announcements, people. There can be emergencies. Had an unruly passenger once. I don't know. He just maybe didn't want to wear his mask or what the problem was, but it affects the overall satisfaction of the other people on the plane, and their expectations are pretty clearly set based on what I've punched in, so it kind of gives it a little extra level. I thought about doing a flight on VATSIM, which is real world air traffic control, but Like my little brain is like scrambled right now, just trying to keep all of this straight. So I'm just gonna rough it in my imaginary play world. Turn the predictive wind shear on, and we'll turn the radar on when I get up in the air. Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. Okay. I think I'll see if I can get the flight attendants to expedite boarding a little bit. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go.
We're ready up here. If we can finish the boarding process a bit sooner.
We'll see what we can. No promises.
Parking brake is right there. Oh yeah, better lock the cockpit door. That's probably a good idea. That's a thing people do. Okay, let's take a look here at our airport. We're departing off. Oh, that was fast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard
27 right, so we'll push back, go down taxiway Lima 3
Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices
on
are in
to.
airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down.
It is. Now,
Not already.
the plane. I don't think the plane has a functioning door, but there is the door, and you can set the lock, and it makes a satisfying clicky sound. But I don't know that it necessarily changes anything about the game experience itself. It's all about that simulation, man. Getting it down to the finest nitty-gritty detail. Okay, so this is pretty easy. Push back to the north, come down L3 to Mike, and then follow Mike all the way to, I guess, holding point, probably Lima Bravo would be sufficient so that we can get out of here. Let's go ahead and close this guy. We'll actually put it on our departure. Okay, close that. This is another little neat add-on that I like here called Pushback Express. Yep. Oh, I know what I'm forgetting. Let's fire up the APU so that we can start some engines. That's also a thing pilots do. No, it would not be a popular mod, you're right. Let the APU finish firing up. We've got 9 minutes to get these people off of the ground, so I don't think we're in any sort of big trouble. Okay. We can come up and turn on the APU bleed. There it is. And let me adjust the... Oh, I forgot to plug in the weather too. Get some weather updates going on. That's better. Let's run this clock back just a little bit to 7 o'clock. Perfect. And wing light lights can come on. Beacon light can come on. Let people know that we're starting the engines. And seatbelt sign will go on. Let's get out of here. Release that parking brake. Get ourselves underway. I love the realism of the fact that you can basically, you can't hear what's going on inside the plane when you're on an outside view. Let's go ahead and get the fuel pump started here. Get some engines fired up. The fuel pumps are on. Whoa. Starter is set and engine 1 can get started. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pushback Man.
Smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not allowed on any double.
Yeah, no problem. How is the Diablo 2? I kind of got fired up thinking about it, and then when I started watching it, I was like, eh. The video that I watched was somebody that had obviously played 10,000 hours of Diablo 2, so it kind of ruined it for me. What do you think?
And remember, they might be behind you. It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, the panels above your seat will open.
Okay, let's start engine 2.
This happens, reach up and pull the mask toward you until the tube is fully extended. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, slip the elastic strap over your head, and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate.
Left turn at Mike.
We're helping others. A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are located under your seats in the main cabin. If you're seated in the first class or business class cabin, life vests are either in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist and attach it to the buckle in front and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom of the vest, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. If necessary, we'll distribute additional life vests for children who weigh 35 pounds or less.
Runway turnoffs and taxi lights are on.
Upright, your aisle armrests are lowered, and your tray table is put away. As we come through the cabin for our final safety check, please let us know if you need anything before we take
Oh, that's too bad.
And finally, now would be a good time for everyone to review the safety information card, which is in your seat pocket.
Okay. 2 good engines. Let's get out of here.
On behalf of everyone at Delta, thank you for paying attention. Now, as we get ready for takeoff, please sit back, settle in, and enjoy your flight.
Let's go ahead and set flaps 1 for departure. Guess I'll just actually take this taxiway and then cut over to Mike a little further down. Yeah, the weather effects in this game are astonishing. I'm using a mod right now that gets, yeah, understood. It gets a little better, okay. It gets a little better atmospheric reporting about what's in the weather environment than the basic live weather does, but that live weather system that's built into the game by default makes the most amazing looking weather and clouds I have seen in any game ever anywhere. Maybe with the exception of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's bananas. Okay. Yeah, we'll just stay on uniform here and follow that all the way down to the end of the runway. Get prepped for our departure. It's a straight out departure due west. So that's nice and easy. I don't know what all that graphical flickering is. So I'll just pre-caveat whatever is about to happen here with the sim has been pretty buggy lately. I might have a random crash to the desktop or something like that. If that happens, I'll probably just peace out because it takes about 35-40 minutes to get a flight set up if you're really trying to simulate everything. Okay, auto brake to max. Arm our spoiler in case speed brake in case we need to come to a stop. And takeoff config is set, and we will go ahead and ding the cabin.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Yes, that is unfortunately my text alert, and my dad and brother are going back and forth about the Cowboys game that nobody really cares about. Let's slow it down just a little bit here. Engine mode selector back to norm. I think we are going to cut over right here. Oh. Turn that one a little wide. We'll get it back. All right. Come to a full stop. Set the parking brake. Landing lights are on. Maximum altitude is set. Altimeter set. ECAM is all green, no blue. Flaps are set. Spoiler is armed. Landing lights are on. Let's get out onto the runway and get out of here. Okay. Start the chronometer. Brake set. Throttle's at 50%. Engines 1 and 2. Brakes release. Throttle set. 2. Man flex. Little forward pressure on the side stick. 80 knots. 100 knots. Check. Try and keep it on the center line. V1 and rotate. Positive rate. Gears up. Go ahead and engage the autopilot. Which will automatically help bring the nose down. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let us gain some speed. Then I'll be watching the annunciator here for it to tell me to switch the auto throttle into the lever climb position so that it can manage the engines appropriately. And that's just the way that it's done. There you go. Doesn't get much more immersive than that. While I was busy showing off there, I forgot to bring the flaps in so we could gain some speed. We're clean flaps now. Go ahead and turn the APU bleed and master switch off. That could have been done on the ground once the engines were started, but I forgot about it. yeah, it's truly remarkable, and I'm flying into the sun, so it's blocking it just a little bit. There's nothing more awesome than getting like an amazing cloud breakthrough when you take off at a low ceiling or a low deck like this, and then have it sort of clear up. So this is actually, this is a bit dramatic of a change, but the weather system that I'm using is using local METAR data for airports. So as I fly over another airport, it gets another latest report. I'll go ahead and switch to the in-game live weather system, which should give us a bit punchier of a look. Yeah, look at that. The only thing about this right now is that the clouds and the game are very sort of lightning happy, even when there's really not anything around. Now in this case, turn the weather radar on and take a look. There may be stuff in the area, I don't know. Did I turn it on? Yeah. Oh, nope, it's been turned off. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, I'm showing you some nice close-ups of the instrumentation while this is going on. That pretty much speaks for itself. So we're basically at the top of our climb on our departure as we're heading to the NASA waypoint. Most of these charts tell you to expect, maintain 10,000, expect clearance filed 10 minutes after departure. That doesn't always work. My altitude right now is at the top limit of this departure, which is 10,000 feet. At 10,000 feet, standard form is to disable all the external lights. And so we have done that. I'll probably turn the wing lights off as well. But right now, I think I'll probably just go ahead and continue our climb. But yeah, I mean, that's like the opening to Highway to Heaven, right? Is Michael Landon at the end of this? I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Our cruise today is 32,000 feet. So I'll go ahead and put that into a managed climb. Since the throttle quadrant here is already set in the climb detent, the A320 is very clever. It spools up the engines, gets the nose down a little bit, gets us up to our basic cruise altitude, and then starts the continued climb up to the next level. Right now the game doesn't have what's called vertical navigation, or VNAV, which would pretty much let the plane decide when it's time to come down based on the documented approach that is put into the FMC. But the way that this is right now, you can still use all the charts, and these charts that I'm bringing up are from a company called from a company called Navigraph. That's a paid subscription. It costs about $80 a year. These are as close to real-world charts as you could hope to get, but they are all very, very smartly emblazoned with the for flight simulation only, just in case Billy Joe Jr. tries to load up a flight sim in his Cessna 152 and get back to Little Rock. Probably a wise precaution. Okay, well, we're on our way. We'll go ahead and shut that down. We're just next to Bremen, Georgia, on our climb out. Seems pretty calm. I'll let the fine folks out of their seats, which makes them very happy. We're headed to St. Louis, Missouri tonight. I bought a new scenery. Pretty big thunderstorms in the area, according to the game's way of thinking of things. The diffusion of the light through the clouds at the next layer is pretty freaking remarkable. So, at 80 miles out, we'll reach the, I don't know what waypoint that is, Vuz. Let's go take a look out there and see. Whoops. Vuz. How appropriate is that for you sitting here with me, Charles? We're headed to the Vulcan VOR, which will be the endpoint of our departure and our turn to the north for St. Louis. Switch over to standard barometric pressure, which is already 2992, so it doesn't really change. That's what we call passing the transition altitude. Different countries have different transition altitudes, or the point at which they think that the atmospheric pressure switches to sea level pressure versus what it is at the ground level. Standard transition altitude in UK and Europe is 6,000 feet. The United States is almost always 18,000 feet, and it varies from place to place, so you can see a lot of different altitudes. That's why you always have to check the charts. I don't know if we're going to pass through this upper cloud deck and get above it or not at 32,000 feet, so we'll see. Still got 10,000 feet to go. And a little over an hour flight time. "55-minute flight time," according to my flight tracking software called Sim Toolkit Pro. Which shows me my departure from Atlanta and the flight path. The radar's a little out of date. I don't think we're going to be going through a cell quite like that, but I guess we won't know until we get there. It doesn't really matter, even if it is a pretty bumpy cell. If it's too turbulent, I might change course or change altitude. Cool. Cool. The overlay I'm using too shows you all of the pertinent information about our altitude and speed, our progress, and the route that we're taking. I wish I could actually see that all the time, but I can only see it on my streaming window. Lucky you. And since you're watching this on Facebook, you're only seeing it in 720p. You could be seeing it in glorious 1080p and 60 frames per second if you were watching on YouTube. I believe I'll go find the link for that just in case you want to try it out. I could use a guinea pig, actually. And there's the link for the YouTube stream. Cool. Good stuff. I absolutely love these engine effects. Break the immersion a little bit. Volume level of the game down just a little bit. So once we reach the cruise altitude, the pack simulation will go ahead and start going through all of the different flight phases, like serving drinks and snacks and all of that jazz. It's only 2 flight attendants for 168 people. I'm pretty sure that would be a merciless disaster, but the game seems to handle it okay. And I also love the fact that it goes through and it names every single individual on board. Aloysius Castillo, for example, who's male, 32, traveling for business. He's happy, not hungry, not thirsty. He's got his seatbelt off, and so forth and so on. Yeah, that random name generator was not kind to him. Occasionally you can go through here and find celebrities, meaning just randomly generated names that also happen to be somebody you may have heard of or know. but not today, it would seem. Oh, Laura Castillo. Estranged spouse sitting in a completely different seat. Bibbo Ramos, attorney at law. On vacation to St. Louis. Anyway, you can get lost in that sort of nonsense. This is the real star of the show. Ooh. Oops. Just 11 miles out from our sexy Delta commercial turn that we'll be making at the Vulcan VOR. Just at the top of the climb. As impressive as the clouds are, it does kind of eliminate one of the other amazing features of the game, which is ridiculously detailed Bing, unsurprisingly Bing, since it's Microsoft Flight Simulator, terrain data and satellite imagery. It's pretty next level stuff, and can be really impressive when you see it from a high altitude, and it looks even better as it starts to auto-populate and come down to the ground and start filling in details. With these clouds, though, I'm buying the lightning. Sometimes you see a lot of lightning when there's really nothing going on, but yeah, I'm buying it today. This is pretty wicked stuff. Flying into a 14-knot headwind. And we've been airborne for only 22 minutes. A balmy 24 degrees Celsius inside the cabin. Burned 4,500 pounds of fuel at a rate of... well, I thought there was a rate. Where's the map? Fuel? Yep, 120 pounds per minute. Still 330 miles to go to St. Louis, and we'll have 5,000 pounds of fuel on board when we get there. Looks like we've bumped into one of these cloud decks. Probably goes quite a bit higher, so we'll just tough it out for a little bit. I think the... No, sir, we are not descending. Holding steady at right around 32,000 feet right now, which is our top cruise altitude on the flight plan. There's not an easy way for me to find out what the actual tops of the clouds are. It may be in my flight plan. It's just that the deck of the clouds descended down to where we were at 32,000 feet. Let's go down. Do I have charts in this one? I don't have any idea what any of this means, by the way. It just looks impressive, right? It's all the NOTAMs. Yeah. Yeah, here's the cloud data. So this is Kansas City. Yeah, so clouds going pretty high today, so there's probably not a way to run away from it. So we'll just have to tough it out. Another 30 minutes or so, we should probably get through this weather. I would think. External temperature outside is -4, so I'll probably turn on the anti-ice. Just to be on the safe side. So we just started our drink and snack service on the plane, and that's a very popular mode of entertainment. There are contrails up here as well, but you can't quite see them. That was just added to the game recently. Charles, are you watching on both platforms, or still just on Facebook? Oh, you can't see the oh, it must have blocked it or something weird. No worries. I posted it in this chat, but it may not have even... In fact, it wouldn't have popped up because science. Hold on a second. I'm going to send you a Facebook message, Charles. Yeah, there's the YouTube link. Oops. Cool. Yeah, a limitation of the streaming service. I'm using a service called Restream, which allows me to simultaneously stream to multiple different platforms. I only have it set up for YouTube and Facebook, but a limitation that it has at this sort of free level that I'm using it is that you can't reply on a personal Facebook page in the chat. So I posted it in Restream chat, but it never made it to Facebook because of money things. That's okay. Got it now, and you should be seeing it. Yeah, looks a lot better, doesn't it? It's amazing how much of this technology is available just for free. OBS Studio, Restream is a completely free service. All these places let you create accounts that are absolutely free that you can stream to. It's impossible to get, break in and actually be successful at this, but without a lot of dedication and consistency. But it's out there. For me, this is just kind of fun to kick back and fly. Absolutely. Yeah, it's better than the cockpit, isn't it? Pretty sure we're going to have a break out of the cloud. Right now it's like Microsoft Langoliers simulator. Right down to the little dudes in the cockpit. Get back inside for just a second and take a look at something on my fly pad here. Yeah, I don't know if this is to be believed based on what Microsoft is going to be simulating, but we may be able to come through some of this a little bit in just a minute. We'll also need to start thinking about the arrival and getting the plane prepped for that. We're only 40 minutes away from St. Louis. Ha, cool, lightning. Yep, looks like it's starting to clean up a little bit. And if the lightning is too close, you'll definitely hear the thunder. All right, I'm going to start doing a little bit of prep work here for our arrival. We are cruising right along, and at the Boosh 3 arrival, we don't have any restrictions until D-Light, which is a 50-mile stretch from Visca to Visca to Scorch to Cape Girardeau. Okay. Yeah, that's quite a long ways to be part of the arrival. Below 31,000 feet at D-Light, well, that won't be hard to do. No lower than 14,000 at Boosh at 280 knots. So let's use our handy dandy calculator over here and say that we want to be at 14,000 feet using a 3-degree angle. Then we should start descending 57 nautical miles before that waypoint at our current speed. So I'm going to go over here to my progress page, and we're going to say, how far away am I from Boosh? 177 miles to go. So probably another 10 minutes or so, we're probably going to be able to start our descent. And what was the altitude at D-Light? 31,000 feet. Cool. Cool, that's going along very nicely. I'm also going to get some updated METAR data from our AOC service. Give that just a minute and wait for the company message to come rolling in. Ah, yes. The end of the other side of the rainbow coming through. There's just really no comparison for any other flight sim that's out there. Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator has its problems, but with visuals like that, what are you going to do? Okay, let's bring up our received messages, new METAR data. Go ahead and print that out. And at St. Louis, winds are at Let's go to the perf page. Head over to arrival. St. Louis altimeter is 2989. Plug that in. Temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. Right there. Winds 320 at 6. We'll review our arrival and make sure that that is correct. And transition altitude, as ever, is 18,000 feet. But just to be on the safe side, we'll review. Transition altitude, flight level 180, 18,000 feet. Exactly as expected. Okay. Our arrival, we need to know what our minimums are for this approach into runway 30 left. Actually, let me take a look at this. Yep. 30 left is going to be perfect. Longest runway at the facility, and from a 320 wind, it's going to be a slight crosswind as we come in, but not too shabby. Minimums on the approach, according to the chart, will be coming in at Casey, I believe. I believe it's just a straight shot in. Let me check that real fast. D-light. Buso TV. Buso has a recommended altitude of 3,500 feet, and then we turn in and approach on final. Obviously, without any flight air traffic control, I'm just kind of doing whatever the hell I want. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But should be good. Let's get back on our arrival. And on to perf. Oh, I forgot to get the actual numbers here. Straight in landing. Decision altitude is 947 feet. So we'll put that in to the FMC so that it can call out minimums for us. 947. Perfect. And that is our approach finalized. 30 left. Let's look at our prog. So we determined that 57 miles out with a 14,000 foot restriction, that's what we want at the Bouche waypoint. So we need to keep an eye on that. And a restriction of 31,000 at D light. So we may come down about 1,000 feet here in just a minute. And look at this. Volumetric lighting coming through the clouds, giving off rays, glinting off of the water. I'm pretty sure that's the Mississippi River that we're heading over to intercept at St. Louis. Maybe, well, I'll stay on it for just a little bit. Yeah, the detail is it's pretty remarkable. Let's see exactly where we are here. Yep. We'll be passing just a little west of Cairo. What state is that, though? I guess Tennessee? Cairo, Tennessee? The junction of the Mississippi and the Ohio River. That should be quite a thing to see. So, believe it or not, all of this is possible through Azure. Microsoft uses Azure cloud servers to stream terrain data just in time. The amount of Bing data that they have for roads, mountains, bodies of water, houses, buildings, all of these systems that auto-generate scenery as you get closer to the ground. It's 5 petabytes of data that Microsoft has in the cloud that just comes to you over your wired connection when you need it. So it can get a little sluggish sometimes, but I mean, once it knows where you're headed and it starts preloading that, you get some absolutely amazing views, like this bit of business right here. Looks like our view of the intersection of those two rivers might be a little blocked by the clouds, but still amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and go down to 31,000 feet. Just do a quick open descent so that we don't bust our requirements on the approach. Yep, lots of lightning's been popping. I think I can go ahead and safely turn off the anti-ice in this case. So we're well below the ceiling now. Keep on our progress page so that we know 99 miles to Boosh. When that's 57 miles away, we'll start a 3-degree descent, which will bring us right to Boosh at about 14,000 feet. Okay, 54 miles. Now that we've lost 1,000 feet of altitude. Did I accidentally bump the throttle? No, I did not. Wow. Screenshot much? Don't mind if I do. Okay. Another 30 miles to go. Yep, that's Tennessee. Pretty sure we're over Tennessee right now. And there is the junction between the Mississippi and the Ohio rivers. Make a little announcement. That bumps up the... ladies and gentlemen, for those of you on the right side of the plane, if you take a look out the window, you'll see Cairo, Tennessee, just off to our wing, and the junctions between the Mississippi and the Ohio rivers. Okay, let's get it queued up here. Track FPA mode, with a 3-degree descent down to 14,000 feet. That may reset before we get to it, but that'll be okay. Miles to go. I have a Logitech, formerly known as Cytec X56 joystick and throttle control. Have them set up on my desk. Technically, if I wanted to be realistic, I would have the command stick on my left hand if I was the captain, and the throttle quadrant would be on my right. But being a righty, I am going to miss my descent. Talking to you about that. And down we go. Could just have a finer degree of control. What do you mean tactile functionality? It has many, many buttons, if that's what you're referring to. That's how I'm doing most of my camera switching and panning around. PAX picked up on the fact of how close we are to our field and has put us into a descent mode. It does, yeah, we maybe are picking a little turbulence up. It's in our descent. It's time to get people back in their seats. Okay, so now that we're on our descent, let's get back to the charts and take a look at what else we need to do. So we'll be at 14,000 at Boosh if that all holds true. Then from there, we'll probably just go back to standard vertical speed descents to get through this. So this is where a VNav system would help manage this. It would figure out the path all the way down through this, and it would be a lot easier to manage. See, I don't think this is going to work. 8,000 at Chicken, and no, it does not have feedback. So that sort of doesn't really happen, and a real airline pilot wouldn't feel feedback on the stick anyway, because it's all fly-by-wire stuff. There's lots of stuff happening behind the scenes. 5,000 at TB. It doesn't have that up there. I know. Let's get some waypoint labels on here. There we go. So it says 9,000 to 8,000 at TB, but I'm kind of concerned about that. Because it won't be long until I have to be getting down onto the ground. Keep an eye on that as we go. Let's get our speed down to 280 knots to follow our restriction. Here we go again. Okay. Altimeter is 2989. Go ahead and set that here. Need to increase the descent here a little bit. Try and catch up. Okay. Okay, we're going to be a little high at Boosh. Let's get back over here. Not too bad, not too bad. A little busted. Not bad for no VNav, I think. Go ahead and set it down to 10,000 for our next point. Keep on that steeper descent. A little speed brake, help us slow down. Yes. Let's get our flight recorder going. Forgot about that. Okay, we're going to be busting through the clouds. About 10,000 feet. Time to get our lights turned back on. And time to put away portable devices. Please and thank you. So time to go down to 800 feet as well.
We have begun our final descent into Missouri. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Okay, looking at the chart. 8,000 at chicken. Really, we need to be at 5,000 at TB. $2,200 by say it. Okay. Let's keep it going down to 5,000. We're busting some speed restrictions, I think. Let's go ahead and slow down to 250 knots. Yep. Just blasted right through that one. Yep. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Charles. We're just about to come in on finals here, but have a great night. Going down into the clouds. Man, I love the views in this simulator. Oh. Come on. Look at that. Okay, let's get down to 3,500. Down to 230 knots. 220 knots. We can start thinking about slowing down with some flaps. Oh yeah. Okay, 2,200 feet is the last altitude, but at this rate, once we get below 230, there's St. Louis. I'll go ahead and put one notch of flaps out. That should really help slow us down quite a bit. Activate the approach phase. We should have. And then down to, wow. There it is. got to set this altitude or we're boned. 2,200 feet. Ah, come on. Really wants to jerk around there for some reason. There we go. Okay. Let's get the second degree of flaps out. Man, this is amazing. All right. We're on a 10-mile final. Let's go ahead and bring the speed brake in and arm it. Flaps 3. Nope. What are you doing, plane? Stop. Stop, stop, stop. My plane. That was a mistake, plane. Don't do that. Okay. Officially my plane now. A little drama for those of you who decided to stay till the end. Let's deactivate approach mode, re-engage autopilot. Full flaps, gear down. Probably a little high on this approach. Ding the cabin.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
My plane again, and down we go. Okay. I think we recovered that pretty nicely, all things considered. Important lesson there is to always be sure and check your nav radios. So that you can be sure that you're not tuned to something that's nowhere's near where you wanted to be. 1,000 on the radio altimeter. Check. Continue. Okay. Oh, come on now.
500.
The camera problems. Need to really get it down here. I'm going to have to go around if I don't be careful.
Above. 400.
100 above minimums is what that means.
Minimum 300.
Well, 4 red normally would be a automatic go around, but it's my computer and I can do what I want.
100,
Come on now.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5,
Reversers out. A little off of the center line, but acceptable. No braking set, so I think my reverse thrust needs some TLC as well there. Reversers can go back in. And welcome to St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome to Missouri. The local time is 7:32 p.m. and it's currently about 82 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the air traffic comes to a complete stop
And I forgot to record it.
Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Okay, let's stop right there and enjoy that scenery just for a second. Landing lights can come off. And that would leave that. And APU start up. And let's get our taxi chart. For today, we are parking up at gate A6 here in St. Louis. So right there, is this? There we go. Oh, perfect. Literally just straight ahead and into the gate. Okay, well, around just a little bit and then over to A6. Wow, perfect is that. Okay, let's get rolling. Use available. Why are you still activated reversers? There you go. No. There we go. Reversers aren't working like they're supposed to, so I'm definitely going to need to check that out. There's a 12. A 10. A 8 and a 6, our gate for the evening. Shut that turn just a little bit. Boop. Stop. Parking brake set. Flaps cleaned up. And taxi lights can come off. We are connected to external power, and with that, let's get the jet bridge connected. And engines off. Done and done. One hour and 14-minute flight time from Atlanta to St. Louis. Awesome possum. That's an interesting connection. Man. Cool. And people are deboarding the plane. And awesome. Well, that was a very fun flight, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate anybody that tuned in, especially Charles Sostek today. Really helped keep me company as my FO on this flight, and that was a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and end this flight and see what our PAC-X people thought about it. I'm totally telling my friends about this airline. A landing rate of 285, according to PAC-X. Sim Toolkit Pro was a little bit more generous at 277, but a 1G landing at 131 knots. That's pretty darn good in my book, especially after what happened on one of my previous flights, which was like a brick hitting the ground. We won't go into that too much, but I think we will go ahead and leave it right there. That is just another day in Microsoft Flight Simulator with amazing visuals from St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Until next time, see ya.